Welcome back to a new video. So this is my workout from Wednesday and it went really well. So I didn't spend a ton of time working with the bar. I figured with these muscle snatch plus overhead squat, which was the first movement that I was doing on this day, that if they started to feel bad, started to hurt, that I would just stop and focus on the main focus of the day, which is clean and jerk accessory work essentially, and pulling. So I didn't want to spend all my time trying to get warmed up for these. I just wanted to go through it, which is also a good sign because I really didn't have any discomfort besides honestly this set here. More so, I believe it was on the overhead squats, but like my tricep area, kind of near my elbow, but not the elbow itself, felt a little tingly and a little weird. But after this set, all the other ones felt completely normal. And I also didn't have, I think I eventually put the wrist wraps on for these. Maybe I didn't do it for the snatch stuff, but I did for the other work that I did on this day. But after the first set, they all felt really good. 5 kilograms more than last week, and 75 is not a super heavy weight for me to muscle snatch, but it's also not a super lightweight, so it's starting to get a little bit challenging, particularly because they're for doubles. But the overhead squats all feel really good, obviously with the exception of that first set where it felt a little wonky. But after that, then everything felt like it was just in a really good spot and position, and the mobility and everything just feels really good. I'm not apprehensive to go through the ranges of motion. I think that's the most difficult thing when you're coming back from some sort of injury or you have like pain in different movements or discomfort, is that apprehension of kind of just pushing into those movements. And you see I'm just kind of diving into the bottom of the overhead squats. I'm not trying to go super slow or anything like that. I do apologize for the shed doors. The right side was blowing open and closed, so I had to go put a plate underneath there. It's one of the nice things about having a bunch of old plates is that you kind of always have something to stick under the door frame to keep it open. The other one just kind of was stuck there, so it just kind of stayed. It got once they're closed, they don't like blow open, but if they are open, they will blow around a little bit. So I was able to keep that open. I always find it hilarious how bright it looks outside, because when I'm actually training, like I can just look in the yard and it looks normal, but for the camera to see my lifting properly and to kind of get the light of my lifting, it makes the outside look like it is literally the sun, but it is really not that bright out there. It's just the darkness of the shed, I suppose, because it is darker in the shed, of course, than outside. But with the overhead pressing, the first set I was able to do at 90, but then I threw the belt on because I was like, this pressing is feeling really difficult. And what's nice about these is I wasn't having any discomfort like I had, I believe, either the week before or the week before that, but kind of the pressing motion off my chest to my chin. So like that first initial little bit was not really that comfortable as far as pressing went, and I was still able to do all the reps and sets at the weights that I wanted to do, but it just was something that I was a little bit worried or just paying attention to, I suppose. I wasn't really, I guess, too worried about it because it wasn't getting worse as I was training. It's always kind of how I assess injuries, is if I'm doing more and I still have the same level of discomfort, then it's not really something I worry about. But if I'm doing something or warming up and it's getting worse, then it's obviously that's a problem, because then it makes training difficult. But with I think this was my last set, yeah. So as you saw in the second set, I missed the second rep. I just wasn't able to get it in that right groove into the right spot. 90 is definitely a difficult weight for me to strict press. In the last set, I did a double and then tried to do a little bit triple, but once I started to bring it down, I was like, this is not moving anywhere if I try to press it up. So missed a rep there. I think it's the first strength movement weight that I've missed. You can see me walking and turn off the camera. I forgot to edit that out, but that was the 100 kilogram push press. And push presses are really nice. I really like the progression of going from strict pressing to push pressing. I think it's just fantastic to do because it's just a good warm up for push pressing, but it's also just like, I don't really find a ton of, like, I don't necessarily think it's bad to warm up with like a really light push press, but like, why not just press it and then push press a heavier weight? I kind of treat push pressing like you're cheating with the press. So you're using your legs to get it to the point where you can kind of finish pressing it out. Of course, you're trying to simulate the jerk as well. And so having that aggressive leg drive is imperative for a good jerk. And that's usually why if I start to push press really well, my clean jerks tend to go well, because it means my jerks are tending to be just more consistent and more powerful. But just like with the strict pressing, these were 2 plus 2, so 2 cleans and 2 overhead presses. And on the first set of 110 that I did, I didn't have any thumb tape on, and I realized like I still have that blister spot, and it's basically healed, but I obviously don't want to re-aggravate it. So I remember to throw some thumb tape on just to make sure that I'm not aggravating that area because I want that to fully heal. So I don't have to necessarily use thumb tape at the end of the week if I can manage it. I might still, just to make sure it's not going to reopen while I'm in the middle of training, because nothing is more uncomfortable than having an open blister while you are trying to train. But the first set, I also kind of did a no foot on the very first rep. I kind of forgot that I was doing regular cleans, but it didn't feel too bad. 110 is still pretty lightweight. The cleans are not really the strenuous part here. You can kind of also notice in the background I put a lot more pictures up. I think I took a picture on Instagram a couple days ago, but I think I still have more pictures. I kind of had to look for those. And you see the pink poster over there. That's from my first year at my old school as a phys ed teacher, so in 2020. The good old, I don't know if YouTube lets me say it, but that fun year in 2020. I guess 2021, because it was the end of the year when I got that poster. But it's interesting trying to look back and trying to remember those names, and the teachers are a little bit easier, but a lot of the names you don't realize. I guess you see so many kids as a phys ed teacher, especially at that point. The school was K to 6, so I would see 7 grade levels of students, and on a 4 or 5 day rotation, whatever it was, then it's just getting the names in that current year was difficult. But then when I'm like looking back at those, I'm like, wow, that's like a very small percentage of names that I can put to faces there. But just shows like how many kids you really interact with, especially, you know, being a phys ed teacher. When I was in special ed, you had your little family, but in phys ed you kind of have a much larger net. It's just a different way of interacting in a school, which is an interesting difference to experience. Just like previous session with the squats and the pulls, I kind of just left it a continuous clip for the pulls that I did on this day. These were clean pulls, all at 150. And there you can see me jam into the music. And it's nice just to find a song and just put it on repeat. It's generally what I do. It's just play songs on repeat and just kind of switch them as I train if I want to. Sometimes I'll listen to the same song the whole time. But I typically like to just leave a song on repeat just in case it resets in the middle of a set. I'm not worried about some random song coming on if I have it on shuffle. But these pulls are all really easy, all at 150. And I was watching a Mitchell Hooper video, I think it's his most recent one, where he did that deadlift challenge. And so I was like, oh, we'll see how many reps I can do with 110, which is my body weight was 239 before I went out to train. And you don't really have to count here. I'll tell you, I did 20 and then stopped because I started to get tired and I didn't really want to push myself to absolute failure. I think if I kind of liked having it in, honestly, like I got like a nice little like glute pump and hip pump from it. So it's something that I might just throw in on a session like this, just a body weight AMRAP pull, and see if I can do more than 20 the next time. Let's say probably do 25 the next time if I do it, unless, you know, I start to feel bad. It's one of those things that's like, if I could do more, that'd be cool. But if I can't, then I'm not going to, you know, kill myself to try to get through 30 reps or 40 or whatever. I think the one person on his video did 50, which I think, I mean, like kind of how easy they felt. I felt like I definitely had at least 10 more, probably more if I, really wanted to. And obviously if I didn't do other exercises prior to that, probably honestly close to that 50 mark. If I just came out there, I was like, I'm just going to AMRAP that. But it's always hard to tell with like super high rep sets like that. And honestly, the set of 20 might be the heaviest or the most reps I've done in a single deadlift set in my life. So that might be a PR. Although at one point I did 425 for, I believe, 16 reps with a deadlift bar and everything. Back when I was doing powerlifting, that was probably 2016. I think that's when I did it, which is weird to think. Very long time ago. I was always good at deadlifts, but when I did it there, it was, deadlift bar and all of that. So I think that helped a little bit too. Plus I was doing lots of reps for everything there. But for deadlifts, I kind of have a gift to do anything I want with deadlifts. It's a gift and a curse, I suppose, because it makes me bad at squats relative to what I can do for deadlifts. But anywho, that's enough blank space at the end. That's going to be for this one. If you've made it this far or any part of the video, I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.